Hi, I am live. I'm just waiting for everybody to come in. Hi, welcome to the live. How are you, Joshua? Happy Friday. Thumbs it up, guys. Hi, Christian Goes with Karen. How are you? I don't like that angle. How's everybody today? I'm so glad to see everyone. I'm live. And today we're going to talk about credit. Just trying to prop up my tablet on this. Oh, that's a good angle. And that's okay. Did I watch a Steve Wilkos show? No. What was it about, Joshua? That's a horse angle. How is everybody? I don't know why sometimes I don't see who's in here. Oh, because he's a former Jerry Springer? Okay. I'm having some technical difficulties here. Oh. Okay. I think that's a little better than it was before. So, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the live. I'm going to wait a minute or so, waiting for everybody to come in. You guys get each other. Oh, Karen, you're a mod. That's what that means. It means that I trust you. That's what it means, Karen. You guys thumbs it up upon coming in. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. I think you're wonderful. That's why. I am going to get started. Welcome to everybody coming in. Hi. It's my life. Dee Dee, welcome. Karen, can you get that? We don't use the S word in here. I'm gonna have to delete your comment, Dee Dee. Hi, Jenny in a bottle. How are you? Welcome to the live, everybody. How's everyone this Friday? I hope everybody had a great day. Welcome to the weekend. I'm going to talk about a subject that is not very popular. You know, it's something that, hi, Boss Life Online. How are you? Welcome. Hi, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, Lakou. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Welcome to the live. I'm glad to see you guys this Friday. I'm going to start off talking about this subject that nobody really wants to talk about, talking about credit. First of all, I'm going to start off by defining it. I have my notes, so if I look down, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just going to look at my notes and get into it. I'm doing great, Jenny. So first of all, what is credit? Well, it just means that one party, the lender, is trusting you to provide money or services that will be paid back later. Hi, everyone coming in. So what does that mean? What does it mean to have credit? And what is a good credit score? So a credit score could be anywhere between 300 and 850. So what does that mean? If your credit score is a 700 or above, it's in the good category. If your score is 800 or above, that means that your credit score is excellent. But most people, when it comes to credit, they're in the category of being between 600 and 750. I can't, that's where I am. I'm in the good category right now. So I just want to teach you guys the things that I'm learning, because I think most of the times, like in school or, when you get to college, they still don't even teach you these life skills in order to benefit yourself. So it's good to find out these things, show you how you can improve yourself, and yeah, and then you can help your family, help your kids. Hi, Diamond Diva, how are you? My allergies are acting up today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm rubbing my nose. So what does that mean? The first thing that you should do is to check what your credit score is. Hi, everyone coming in. You should check what your credit score is. That's really important. I think a lot of times that people really don't even know what their credit score is. They just think, oh, my credit score must be so bad, so I'm not going to even try. I'm not going to even attempt to look. So they just give up. But that's not what you should do. You should always know where you are, where you lie when it comes to your FICO score. And why you should check your credit score is because you don't want others that are checking it, like whenever you're going to get a house, you want a credit card, a car, all these other things. You want to at least be in the know. You should at least have the knowledge to know where you lie. Is my credit score good? Is my credit score bad? Yes, Karen, that's a good point. There are, I was going to get into that. Yeah, there are 4 credit bureaus. I didn't know this. I thought it was 3, but I just looked on Google, and it says that there's 4. These are the 4. You guys might want to get a pen and paper, write these things down, or you guys can check out Google. They have Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and Innovis, Innovis. That one I had never heard of. That was a new credit bureau to me. So a question that a lot of people have usually is, how are your credit scores calculated? Well, it takes 4 things really into account as to how your credit score is calculated. It's the first thing is your credit usage. How much of your credit do you use? Say you have $100 credit card. How much of that credit card should you use? Most people don't know that. Like me, when I first started out of high school, I got a credit card, all excited, and then you just go and max it out. Is that the right thing to do? Most of us were never really taught about credit. Like, is that good? How you should use it? Well, according to these credit bureaus, they tell you that you should not use more than 30% of your credit. So that means if you have a $100 credit card, you should not be using any. I'm stammering over myself. If you have a $100 credit card, you should only be using 30% of whatever you're using. Hi, Lynn. How are you doing? So after your credit usage is how your credit score is calculated. It also takes into account your payment history. Hi, Wendy's TV. How are you? Your payment history is really important when it comes to how your credit score is calculated. They want to know, how are you paying when it comes to your bills? Are you paying on time? Are you paying late? I thought it was significant when I found out that your credit score accounts for 35% of your credit score. You know, that's something amazing. When you think about it, stop and think about that. That there's 35% of your score is based on whether you pay on time or not. So that's something that usually is in your control. You can pay on time. You should set up a payment reminder. Hi, Keeping Up with Chaz, how are you? Um, you should pay your bills on time. I know sometimes that's easier said than done. You know, we all have life that gets in the way and responsibilities, but I think it's important. Something that I learned from a credit bureau was that even if you're not able to make a full payment, you should contact whoever you have the credit with, and tell them about, you know, I'm not going to be able to pay the full payment, but I can pay whatever it is. But make sure you are talking with people, you know, whoever you have the credit with, and tell them your situation. Tell them, you know, I'm not going to be able to pay it until this date, and then keep your word. You know, they want to know that you're reliable. That's really uh, Keeping Up with Chess says, I'm a great friend, and yes, I've learned the hard way. Yeah, I think all of us, you know, this credit thing, everybody has learned, you know, the hard way usually. They don't really know what to do. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Andrew, I told you I'm online. Oh. Every time I go live, guys, they're trying to come in. I don't know if I'm the only one that has this problem. They're trying to come in on me. You guys, chill. I had to lock the door. I had to lock them out. I had to lock them out. I'm sorry, y'all. Where was I? Yeah, your payment history, it accounts for so much of your credit, you know, 35%. That's something that's in your control. You may not have control of other things, but you have control of when you pay your bills. What I do is I have a little notebook and I write down all my bills, when they're due. And you can also make an arrangement that, say, if your bill is due on the 14th of the month, but you know you only get paid until the 18th, contact that credit agency and ask them if they could switch the date to the that so that your payment won't always post late. You have to be in control of your credit, because if you don't help yourself, nobody is going to help you. You have to be in control of that. You have to show that you're reliable, and they want to see that you have to be more aggressive with it, because that's the only way you're going to help yourself. Nobody's going to put this information in your head. You have to just do your best in trying to help yourself. So another thing that is involved in your credit score calculations is your FICO score. It increases over time. Well, what does that mean? Your FICO score increases over time. It means that your history of credit. They want to see, how long have you had credit? What do you do with your credit? Do you pay on time? Do you always pay late? How much of your credit usage do you use? They want to see like a history of all the payments, all the credit that you've had. Do you pay off your bills? All those things is important. Hi, Daisy. How are you? Welcome to the live. Everybody, welcome, Daisy. Thanks for stopping by on this Friday. And another thing that's involved in your credit score calculations is any recent applications that you have to check on your credit. So that means that every time you go to get a cell phone, you get a new car, you're buying something on credit, they go and pull your credit. That's something that I didn't know. So if you're going to get things, a credit helping agency as told me that you should apply for all these things in the same day. So if you're going to get a car, if you're going to get a bed, if you're going to do all these things, apply for it all on the same day, and not just, so that your credit score doesn't keep ping ponging, up and down. You're getting a hit today, and then you get one tomorrow, you get one Wednesday, you get one Friday. So it kind of messes up your credit score. You kind of want to do all your credit inquiries in the same day, and that will help you that you have the same, that it stays on a normal range. Whereas if you do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it kind of messes things up. Does that make sense? You guys let me know if that's making sense to you. I kind of had to stop and pull back and think about that, because usually if you're going to get something, you'll go and get a house, or you'll say, I need a car, and you'll do it like 3 or 4 different days. But that's not the way you should do it. What I learned is that if you're going to do something, you need to plan it and say, I'm going to go and apply for the credit card. So you can do that early in the morning. Then you go get a bed set. You're going to do your application for your apartment or your house. Karen says, inquiries impact your score. Do your inquiries the same day if possible. Right, Karen? Yeah, that's something that was like new knowledge for me. It's really important to know. Hi, I don't know how to say your name. Ngadi. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your name, but hi and welcome. Everybody, welcome them to the live. All of those things are important. It's important to have knowledge, because nobody's going to give you this information. You just have to be smart. You have to help yourself. And you have to, look at the resources, so that, oh, I thought I was frozen for a second. Yeah, you have to use all your resources. And then once you know what to do, put it into action. I'm sorry, guys. My allergies are going crazy. My nose is going nuts. So now that you know all these things, why is it important for you to know all of this about credit? I'm just looking down at my notes, guys. When you know that knowledge is power. Once you know now about credit, you know that what is a good credit score. So we know that if your credit is 700 and above, it's good. If you know that it's 800 or above, that it's excellent. So you want to keep your credit score in that range. So now that you have the knowledge in your head, now you can have the power to make better financial decisions for your future. You have to enable yourself. You have to help yourself, because your financial power is what's going to help you to get loans, to get credit cards, to buy a home, a car, all of these things. And it's really important, because, who wants to pay for an apartment the rest of their life? I know I didn't. I want to be in a home. And I did that because I started to take my credit score seriously. Why should you be paying other people's bills? How about paying your bills to be in your own house, to do your own thing? You got to think about those things. It's all about growth and maturity. Everybody wants to benefit. So to benefit, you have to use the tools, put in the hard work, and do what you got to do. Everybody can do it. I know that it's hard, because trust me, y'all. I had a history of not paying my bills on time, because I didn't understand how much it was going to impact me in the future. If I had known what I know now 10 years ago, it would have changed my life. I think I could have been into my home probably 10 years before I did. But I didn't know. And that's not something that they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you this stuff in college. This is just from a hard knock life, hitting your head against the wall, or seeing you have to do some troubleshooting, see what works and see what doesn't work. So when you have a good credit score, what does it show? It shows that you can be trusted with your paying, that you pay your debts on time. They want to know, the most important thing to know is that when it comes to credit, they want to know how much of a risk. How risky are you? Are you going to pay your bills back? Or are you just going to take the money? You never pay them back. You never answer the phone calls when they call, all of these collecting agencies. Yeah, everybody has to do better. I know at the time, everybody does what they need to do. You're trying to work, you're trying to pay bills, you're just trying to keep your head up above water. And I give you guys props for that. I know it's not easy. It's not easy out there, because life is hard. You have other responsibilities. Everybody has families. Everybody has their own problems. They're trying to do their thing. And Karen says, good credit shows how risky you are. Will you pay on time? Are you trustworthy? Right, Karen? Thanks for. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get some tissue. Um, those credit bureaus, they want to know how risky you are. So, what does that mean? How risky are you? They want to say, okay, you started off with a $200 credit. No, that's not how I started. I started off with an unsecured credit card. What is an unsecured credit card? I'll start with defining that. That means that you have either no credit established, or your credit is so poor that they don't want to lend you any money. So you have to put your own money up, and then they give you a small amount. So when they see that you're paying it on time, then they start raising your limit. So I started off at 200, and I put 200. I brought it to the bank, and they gave me a $200 unsecured card. After, I would say, about 2 or 3 months, when they saw that I was paying it on time, I was only keeping my credit card limit under the 30%. Then they took me to 500. After maybe 2 or 3 months more, they put my limit to 700, and then I got to 1,000. I think it took me, how long? A year. It took me a year to go from the 200 to $1,000, and then after that, I got my first offer to get a secured card. So that's how it starts, guys. First, if you may not have a good credit score, you may have to put up the money so that you can improve your credit score. So start off, maybe they may start you off with a $200 secured card. Bring $200 to the bank. Tell them you want to get a card. Right. Unsecured credit can be used to build your credit. So once they see that your credit history, once they see that, oh, hey, I gave them $200. I mean, you gave $200 and you paid your bills on time. And then they said, okay, let's see if we can trust them with $500. Then $700, then $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, $5,000. You see where I'm going with this? And I didn't understand that if you pay your bills on time, you're going to keep getting credit and you keep benefiting yourself. So I started off with that 200 unsecured card. Then I finally got my first $200 card where they put up the money. And after a while, I had a $2,500 credit limit. And I thought that was really good. The last time I checked on my card, I was at, I wrote it down here. Oh, I was at 3,500. So that's where I am now. I started off having, horrible credit. I think my credit score was 480 when I started. And nobody would give me a card, as which they shouldn't, because I wasn't ready. I didn't know what to do with credit. So that's why I'm trying to come in with my knowledge, educate you guys, help everybody to be better. We always want to be wise with what we do with our money, because that's how we grow and we're able to do better things. Because if you have a better credit score, you can get a better car, get out of the whole apartment grind and get into your own home. Enjoy being able to do what you want to your house. If you want to paint your house. If you want to blast your music like I love to do, 2 a.m. in the morning, you don't have to worry about any neighbors, banging on your door telling you to turn down your music, Hi, Kicking It with Karen. I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. You said, oh, that went too fast. Sorry, guys. You had horrible credit and you read Finances for Dummies and you learned how to manage your money. 5 years later, you were able to buy a new car for cash. Wow, that's amazing. It's all about knowledge. Once you gain the knowledge, what do you do with it? Because if you could just get this information from me or whoever it is, maybe you get a credit counselor and company to work with you to repair your credit. But if somebody tells you what to do and you do nothing with it, of what benefit is it? Hi, Daisy. Daisy says, great advice. I wish they would teach all of this in schools at an early age. I had to learn the hard way too. Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, Kicking It with Karen. Um, that's not something easy. That's not an easy accomplishment because I know for me, it took me almost a year before I started to get the benefits of my hard work of paying my bills on time and all that stuff, all the sacrifice. It I would rather get that takeout or go to the movies or do something else with my money, but that's not the responsible way. That's not the way that a person who's financially responsible, that's not what they're going to do. And I want you guys to be in the knowledge, have this knowledge up here, and then start thinking about your goals for the future. Think about where you want to be in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and start setting those goals. Start them small. Say, I want to pay off this debt. And then write down how you're going to do it and accomplish it. And then start working on the next goal, because everybody's goal should be to pay off their debts, to be in a home, to save money for retirement, save money for vacations, or if you get ill. I know I read a really good book. I don't remember the title. If I remember afterwards, I'm going to link it in the description box of this video. But I read a really good book by Sue Orman, and she was saying how important it is for you to have 6 months saved, just in case anything happens. Because what if you get laid off your job? You should always have 6 months put into a bank account or wherever you want to put it, that you don't have to worry. You don't have to be so stressed out like, oh my God, I lost my job. How am I going to cope? Whereas if you have 6 months, if you have that 6 months worth of money, yes, double. Crushing goals with Karen says. That's why it's really important for you to put some money away. Think about your future. And if not your generation, maybe if you're older, think about your kids or your grandkids. Yes, an emergency fund. All this stuff is like knowledge. It's like kind of messed up my mind a little bit when I started thinking about it. Because most of the time when you're young, you're not thinking about your future. You're not thinking about retirement. Be like, I'm a teenager. Why do I need to think about, retirement? Or why do I need to think about being sick? I'm not sick. But all those things can happen. You can get laid off your job. You can have a family problem. Kicking It with Karen said, my husband and I have managed to save a year's salary. Wow. That's amazing. I'm not there. I read the book and I'm to the point where I've saved for 4 months. So I'm still working on that goal. I'm not just out here telling you guys something that I'm not trying to put into practice myself. I'm trying to work on saving this this 6 months, and every time you save a little, then you got to use it. So you take a step forward, you take 2 steps back, but you have to keep working on it, and you have to believe that you can do it. They'd be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to stay on this grind until it happens, and then when you finish that goal, you move on to the next. So I encourage you guys to do that. Start. Yes, it's encouraged to save 3 to 6 months of expenses for your house. And on top of that, most of the time when you don't even really realize how much that you spend. Like when I didn't get laid off my job, I had to quit because they were tripping for real. So I wasn't working, I think about 4 months, and you don't realize all of the little things that you do besides pay your regular bills. You have other things that you do, like your hair appointments, getting your nails done, things like that usually that most women do. You don't really put that in as your bills, but it is a bill for me, because you have to take care of yourself. So everybody has to work according to what's right for their family. And if you have kids, think about what you need to be saving for your kids. Put in there if you need to put in things for daycare, or like supplies for food, if they still have formula, all those things, diapers, all that stuff. We got to think about these things, right? That's why I'm on here talking about it, because I know when I was growing up, there was nobody out there, saying, hey, I think you need to work on your credit. I think you should have this credit score. Nobody gave me that knowledge. I think it's just all the years of, hitting my head against the wall, and then reading some books, doing some research of my own, working on my own goals. That's how right now, I'll tell you guys something personal. My credit score now is 699. I was at 704. Yeah, I was at 704, and I made a late payment and it dinged me and put me down 7 points. So I was really upset about that, because I was in the good category. So now I'm going to be there. Maybe in another month, my score will go back up, because I'm going to pay down some of my debt. So my score will go back up. But you guys aren't the only one out there struggling when it comes to this credit thing. You're not alone when it comes to struggling with credit. I've made many mistakes, many mistakes. And I think that's why it's important to have these type of forums, talk to one another, encourage each other that it's okay when you have a setback. Just reevaluate the situation, and assess what you need to do, and then get out there and do it, because nobody is going to do this for you. Nobody's going to repair your credit for you. You have to do it yourself. So, I was going to talk about something. Yeah, so when it comes to your credit score, or your credit period, do you guys know how much of your credit you should be using? That's something that I did not learn until maybe 2 years ago. That's something, it's not broadcasted out there. Like we say, hey, you get a credit card in the mail, and then you say, oh wow, I got all this money. Nobody says, puts a stipulation in there saying, hey, this is how much of your credit you should use, and you should leave this in reserve because it's going to affect your credit score. Nobody ever teaches you that. You kind of get your credit card and then you just go crazy, which is not the right thing to do. I think after a while you learn. When you start getting affected, you want to get a car, and then you get rejected for the car because of your credit score. Makes you start having a pause and thinking like, maybe I shouldn't use all the money that I used for, X, Y, and Z. So I have to start making wiser decisions for yourself and for your future, for your family. Nobody's going to do it for you guys. So what's everybody's credit now? Is everybody in a good place when it comes to credit? Let me look at the chat. I haven't been looking at the chat. Karen says it took you 10 years. What took you 10 years kicking it with Karen? Sorry guys, my allergies are going crazy. Excuse me. What took 10 years, Karen? Kicking it with Karen. It took 10 years for you to do what? To be able to save the money? Let me know. Yeah, so all of this took me about a year for me to start off with, where I was when I had nothing. Like I told you, I started off having a 480 credit score, which according to the credit scores, the good credit is 700 and above, and 800 to 850 is excellent. So 480 isn't even on the register of being good. It's like way below poor. It's horrible. So nobody would ever want to loan me anything. I tried so many times to do so many things, and because I didn't have the knowledge, I was just keep going from one place to another, just making my credit score worse. Which, if I had known, hey, you're gonna move, you're gonna get an apartment, you're going to get a car, you're gonna get a credit card, do all these things in the same day. Nobody teaches us these things, to have the knowledge about credit. Nobody taught me. Um, I think you're really fortunate if you have somebody in your life, like your mother or aunt or somebody you trust, a good friend, to pull you aside and say, "Hey, how are you doing with your credit? Are you using your credit wisely?" I think that's something that parents should teach their children about. I think it's something that usually in the Black community, I'm not trying to knock anybody who is African American or African in general, but I think it's something that it's kind of like a taboo subject that we don't really talk about money. I don't know about other cultures, but I know in the Black community, we don't really talk about money. We kind of just, don't even talk about that subject. We leave all that alone. But, you know, when you become an adult, you become grown, you become mature, then you have to start making wise decisions, guys. I want everybody to make wise decisions for yourself. I want to see you guys get in that car that you always wanted. Move out of that apartment. Know what it's like to sign on that dotted line saying, I bought my house. I'm telling you, if you guys have never done it, it's the best feeling in the whole world. I no longer have to be on that grind. I don't have to worry about every month, giving money to a landlord. I'm helping myself, setting myself up for my future. Um, that's just my little spiel. I wish more parents, aunties, uncles, brothers, cousins will talk about money, how much you should be saving, planning for retirement, taking care of yourself, 401ks and IRAs and all that other stuff. But that's a whole nother video that I have, that I'm going to talk about in another video. We're going to talk about IRAs and all the different kinds that they have, and what's a retirement account and all this, and how much should you realistically be saving for your retirement. All of these things that I've learned by just hitting my head against the wall. And I think that's how most people that they learn. You're really lucky if you're fortunate enough to have somebody in your life that can say, hey, this is how much you should be saving every month, and this is how much you should use on your credit. Most people out there don't have those type of luxuries. I know I didn't. It's something. Hi to the 4 people who are here. Thanks for tuning in, hearing me ramble on. I hope this information is really informative to you. But like I was saying, I wish this was something that I learned when I was in high school. I think it should be a course in high school to talk about your credit and why it's important, because nobody out there is like saying, hey, what's your credit score? How are you building your credit? How much money are you saving? How much credit are you using? When are you going to pay off your debts? All these questions are not really something that most people don't talk about money. They just, fly by the seat of their pants. I know that's what I've been doing almost my whole life. Nobody came and pulled me aside when I was a teenager and say, hey, when you get that first credit card, this is what you should be doing. Where I think that a lot more people need to be having these conversations with their families, and their kids. When you get your money, your credit card, what are you going to do with it? If you can't pay off your balance by 30 days, that means you don't need to put that on your credit card. That's something that I had to learn. I thought that it was credit for a reason, that you just keep, I need to buy this and just swipe it, just swipe, swipe, swipe. But I'm not thinking about, how am I going to pay this back? You gotta, Yes, Karen, thanks. Everybody hit the button. Really appreciate you guys being out there supporting me. Daisy says 401k gives you free money when your employer matches up to a certain percent. Yeah, that's right. I know everybody's employer is different, but my employer matches 100% of what you put. So if you say you're going to put $200, they're going to match you $200. So I think that that's an excellent program. And I hope that everybody's utilizing that. If you are able to have these match programs when it comes to your 401k, by all means take advantage of it. But another thing that I do on top of that, I'm going to talk about in another video, is how you can add more. You don't have to just go with what they give you, you know. You can use your retirement account to put more money into it. Because let's think about it, guys. In the next few years, the cost of inflation versus what you make, they never add up. So we got to think smart, think about your future, think about your family, and make some wise decisions when it comes to this credit thing. We're all learning. We're all flying by the seat of our pants, doing the best that they can. I hope everybody is working on their credit. I know a really excellent agency to use, guys, is Credit Karma. It's Karma with a K. It really helped me because when I went on there, I didn't even know what my score was. They're the ones that told me, hey, I think you should do a unsecured card. And that's when I did that, and I brought the money into the bank, and then they helped me to start on my way to getting some credit. And I went from a 480 to a 520, and then my credit score just went up from there, and right now I'm at a 699. So it is possible. I went from having terrible credit to right now I'm just about to be back into the good category. So in a little bit I'll be back in the 700, which is good credit. And I think as long as you're good or better than that, if you're between 700 to 800, I think you're usually always going to get approved for just about everything you want. And I think that's what everybody wants. I don't know if it's just me, but I like when I go into something and I say, hey, I want to get this. And then I feel confident that I can go in there and say, hey, I want this, sign on the dotted line, and it's mine. It's a good feeling, and then it makes you feel proud for all your hard work, for all the time you made sacrifices to pay your bills on time, all those times you didn't take out, all this stuff. You have to make some sacrifices for your financial future, for you and for your family. So I suggest everybody to get out there and first of all, if you don't even know what your credit score is, start there. Start with trying to find out what your credit score is. That's the first thing. What is your credit score? And then work from there. Try to go to Credit Karma or other companies that they're going to put you on the road to say, hey, your credit score is this. And they make recommendations on the website. They make this is not sponsored. Credit Karma, I'm not getting no Credit Karma money from this, so yeah, they will help you. And I know they have other companies like Credit Sesame and other companies like that, but I recommend Credit Karma. They were really good in helping me repair my credit, and I recommend you guys get some some type of credit books that talks about credit. If you guys want more information, there's always Google. We live in an information society. There's balanced information out there, but most of the time people, when they say, hey, my credit score is not good, like, why should I even be interested? Why should I even care? Well, you guys have to care about yourself. You have to think about the future, that do you always want to be living that apartment life for the rest of your life? Or do you want to be in a home? You want to be, I know, that's what I want. I want to have a place where I could have my dog fenced in the backyard and have my garden, be able to invite people over to my house to have a barbecue or to do what I wanted to do. Whereas when you live in an apartment, you always have to think about, hey, I got this neighbor over there or above me, and they're jumping on the floor up there or fighting or all kinds of foolishness. But when you're in your own home, you have a little more ease. You guys start thinking about those things. I want to be the person in your head encouraging you to move forward with your goals because you deserve to get those things. I think a lot of times other women in general, no shade to the men, but a lot of women don't encourage other women to say, hey, what are you doing? You're smart, you're beautiful, you're important, you're all those things. So try and do something for yourself, do something for your future. Check on your credit score. Then when that starts to improve, then hey, what do? Then you get more credit, and then you can get a better car, you get the house, you get all the things that you want. You guys, those things are out there. All those agencies are out there to help you, like Credit Karma and these credit card companies. They want to see what is your I can't think of the word, how risky you are. They want to know how risky you are. And you have to show them. Say, hey, look at me. Hey, if you give me some money, I'm going to do really good by you. I'm only going to use 30% or less. When you first start out, I'll spill the tea, guys. When I first started out, I got, what is that called? Like one of those companies that help you to build your credit. They worked with me and they said that you should get a credit card. And the only thing you put on there is something that you know you're going to pay off. So I started off with something like your light bill, your water bill, some kind of bill that you know that you can pay off right away. So that credit card, I didn't use it for any other things. It wasn't, it's something that I know whatever I put on there, like Netflix or something, and you know you're going to pay it off every month. So then when those credit bureaus and credit agencies see that, they say, hey, I gave them whatever amount of money, and look, they're only using this small amount of money and they're paying it off. Hey, let's give them some more money. And that's what you want. You get your credit, you get your credit card, you use it wisely. What happens? You benefit, your score starts going up, and that's wonderful. That's what you want. You want your credit score to improve so that you can get the things that you want in life. Everybody wants something in life. And I know that once you start using your credit responsibly and doing all the things that you need to do, you can do it. I think that sometimes when you have your credit score and it's so low, you're like, I think that's how I started off. I was like, oh my goodness, my credit score is 480. How am I going to get out of this? I felt like I was in a dark hole. Like, how am I going to get out this? Nobody will give me anything. So why should I even try? But you have to think that you deserve those things. To say, I deserve to have a good credit score. I want to be in my house one day. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to get out there and grind and do what I need to do so that I'm able to get the things that I want. And everything out there is about sacrifice. And putting in the work, doing what you have to do, and then later on, guess what happens? You get the benefits. You get all the benefits of all your hard work. You get to get what is it called? You get approved for things. If you guys have ever been approved for things, isn't it a good feeling? I know that when I go in for something and then they said, I just have to run your credit. My heart doesn't beat fast anymore, guys. I know before my credit, when they would say, I have to run your credit, I'm like, oh my God. I like roll my eyes. So like, oh my God. It's like, I'm just waiting for them. I'm going to get yes, use your credit wisely. Thank you, Karen. I know when they used to run my credit, I used to be like, oh boy. I know they're going to decline me. But when you start putting in the work and say, hey, I'm going to work on my credit. And I know what my credit is. Be in the know what your credit score is, and do what you need to do. Work at your how much debt you have. If that's the problem issue that you have, try to see if you can get your credit um, usage down to 30%. I think when I first started off, I just got a credit card and I just went buck wild. I went absolutely buck wild. I was like, yes, I got a credit card. So I'm going to go out there and buy everything that I want. And then when you get your first bill, you be like, I don't have no money. Nobody really teaches you these things about your credit and all this stuff. But you gotta be knowledgeable. You guys have to use the resources that you have. Use your resources wisely. Am I buffering, guys? Or you guys still see me? I think I'm still there. So you have to use your resource. That's really important. You have to use your resources so that somebody can say, hey, I see whatever your name is, and I look at their credit score. They're doing really well when it comes to using their credit usage. I think I'm going to give them some more money. And that's when you smile and say, hey, give me some more money. I work hard for that. So when you get out there, you do what you need to do. What happens? You benefit. You guys will benefit. And then you can be proud of yourself. You can say, hey, I started off having an unsecured card, and look where you are now. You guys have to think about your progress. Be proud of yourself. I would encourage you guys, if you guys don't already, start with a vision board. Vision board changed my life. I think I'm one of those persons that if I don't see things, it's like it's not even happening to me. But once I put on that vision board, debt to income ratio, how does that impact your score? I must have missed something. Yes, your debt to your income ratio, it does affect your score, because if you look at how much you're making, then you look at how much of that credit that you're using. And if you're using way above more than what you make, that shows that you're living beyond your means. And I don't know anybody out there. I don't like for anybody to tell me I'm living beyond my means. So you have to show them that you're responsible. You guys can do it. I believe in you guys. I really believe in you guys. I had a really good friend, and she took me under her wing, and she's like, girl, we're going to do this, And she's older than me, but everybody needs a mentor. And if you don't have a mentor, use the resources that you have. Hi, David and Jody. Everybody, welcome David and Jody to the live. How you doing? Happy Friday. Just talking about this credit thing. Is this Jody? Talking about credit and all the problems that I've had. When I started off with my credit, I started off with a 480 credit score. And right now I'm at a 699. I'm very proud of that. I've worked really hard. Yeah, of course it's Jody. It's not going to be David. David is not going to come on my live and be interested in credit. Thanks, Jody, for coming on. You guys, David and Jody is a great channel. If you guys don't have them in your list, you should. So back to what I was talking about. You're going live at 7:30. Good. I'll be there. You know I will. I had to, yeah, I'll be there, Jody. I started off having a 480 credit score, and it was awful. I didn't have anybody, there helping me and saying, hey, when you get that first credit card, this is what you should do. I kind of flew by the seat of my pants, but now that I've learned, I want to tell you guys things that I've learned. Only use 30% of your credit. If you have, David and Joy says it's okay. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, nobody really gives you like a plan for your life. You know, kind of when you're finished high school, you just are kind of thrown out there and you're like, do your own thing. So you have to do your research. I did my research and I started off with my 480 credit score and got that unsecured credit card. And I put $200 down at the bank, got my first credit card. I used it wisely. I knew that you need to only use 30% of whatever they give you or less. Or less. A lot of people don't know that. Use less if you can. If you can't, use up to 30% of the credit that you're using. Um, that's really important because these creditors, they want to see, say, they got 2,500, but they're only using $200. I think I'm going to give them some more money. They want to say, you know, they're really good financially. They're not risky. I can take a chance on them because they're only using a lot less than what they were using before. So we want to show all these credit bureaus. If you guys don't know what the credit bureaus are, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. There's 4 credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and Innovis. You guys have to be in the know about these credit bureaus. Get one of these companies. I use Credit Karma. Credit Karma has helped me so much with my credit. I started off with 480. Yes, when they're legitimate, they can be very beneficial because make sure that you're using a company that's backed by the Better Business Bureau. You don't want to go to TJ's Hood Financial Services. You know, use someone that's backed by the Better Business Bureau that you know that is legitimate. They're going to be out there to help you. They're not trying to scam you because there's enough scammers out there just trying to take your money. Use somebody that has a good track record and you'll be fine. Work on. Thank you, Karen. I need to get some information for one of my daughters. Yes, and it's something that I didn't learn until I was already past grown, that you can get a credit card in the name of your children. So by the time your child gets to be 18 years old, you have well established that child. I think that's one of the best things that you could do if you're a mom, is to help your child to be able to be financially stable. I can't imagine being 18 years old and say, hey, you have perfect credit. I had to work hard on my own to establish that good credit. And I think sometimes, that's good, but if you can help your child to start off with a steady leg out there to say, hey, I can have this good credit and I know how to use it. I know what to do with it. And when it comes to things like that, they can go immediately probably into going the route of getting a house instead of having to get out there and get an apartment. You're setting them up for the future, and they can be able to get a car with a lower interest rate on their car payment. All of those things benefit you when you use your credit wisely. I want to encourage you guys, please use your credit wisely. Please use less than 30% of your credit because it's going to benefit you now and in the future. And you can be able to teach these things to your children. Talk about it with your family. Talk about it with your husband, your spouse, your significant other, whoever it is. It's important to teach one another to how you can use your credit the right way. Look and see what's your credit score. If you don't know what your credit score is, start there. But you have to start somewhere. I encourage you guys to do that. Start with trying to find out what your credit score is, because that's where I started. I didn't know what my credit score was, and I was shocked when I found out it was 480. But right now, I'm doing good. I'm at 699, and I'm going forward. I'm gonna keep going until one day I can come on here and do a video and say, guys, I have a perfect score. I want to be able to tell you guys that soon. So it's not just you guys that are working on your credit. I'm working on my credit really hard. I'm out there grinding, trying to get this 850 credit score. So you guys aren't alone in it, not alone in it. I'm trying to work on my credit score too. So I encourage you guys to keep up all of the good work. Use some of the tools that I talked about today. Work on finding out what your credit score is. Um, Link up with one of the credit agencies like Credit Karma that's going to help you to be able to know what your credit score is and what are the recommendations, what kind of credit cards are you going to use, what's a good APR on a credit card. I'll do another video about that next time. Talk what is a good APR that you should have, how long should you have it for, when should you change and get another credit card. That's going to be in the next credit series that I'm going to do. You guys let me know when you guys want to talk about that. I'm open here to talk about things, credit, all things advice. I want to encourage you guys. You guys can do it. I believe in you guys. Sometimes it means a world of difference for someone to say, you can do it because I did it. So I'm telling you from personal experience, I started off with a horrible, actually, it wasn't even on the register. I started off with having no credit, and I built myself up to 699. So all these suggestions that I've given you guys is because I did it, and I know that you can do it. So get out there and work on your credit. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to leave it open. Okay, I'll see you guys. I'll see you next week, Karen. Same time, every Friday at 5:15. I'm going to be here, or 5 o'clock if that's better. I can do 5 o'clock, 5:15. You guys let me know what's better. 5 o'clock to 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. And then Saturdays, I'm going to be on here at 2 p.m. So you guys get used to me every Friday and Saturday. For another dose on this channel. You guys let me know any suggestions for videos, any topics you guys want to talk about. Yes, Crushing Goals with Karen. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you next time. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in, for watching this video. It really encourages me when you guys come in. That means that all of my research with all these notes, that it meant something. Yes, bye, Karen. That it really means something, that I'm not just out here doing this research, putting my personal business out there for nothing. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So you guys get out there, let me know what's going on with your credit. So the next time I do the next series, when I talk about retirement, saving for your retirement, how much money you should be saving, what's a realistic savings, and how you can do it. We'll talk about that in another video. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys work on your credit. You can do it. I believe in you. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I don't know, I don't have a topic right now. But you guys let me know down below what you guys want to talk about, or a video you want to see. Leave it down below. And I'll see you guys next time.